What's up, everyone? Zach here, bringing another Team Taste deck profile. Where today I'll be going over my top 8 Malamar Ultra Necrozma list that got me top 8 at Madison. It's a really solid list. I think it's still going to be really good moving forward, so I'll just jump right on into it and start explaining my counts. So, first, we got the 4-3 Malamar line. So, with that, you really only need two Malamar out, and Ultra Necrozma, the third, is a luxury and sometimes just takes up too much space, so we only play three Malamar and we play the four to try to get the Inkas down early and to kind of make it, even if they knock out an Inke, it doesn't really matter. And then we got our two Dawn Wings. Two Dawn Wings is really good. The Moon's Eclipse GX 180 for 3 Psychic, but you have to be behind on prizes. Really clutch GX attack. It forces your opponent to have a Guzma, and if you use N and Moon's Eclipse, it can really be quite big and swing some matches. And Dark Flash 120 for 3 energy. It seems underwhelming, but you two-shot anything, and with a Beast Energy Choice Band, you can Guzma and one-shot Lele's, which is huge, hitting 180 with that. And then I got my two Ultra Necrozmas. Now, this feels kind of low sometimes in the matches you really need the Ultra Necrozma. It can kind of hurt not having the third one, or if you prize one of them. And there was one time where I prized both of them, but, you can still manage it with the two. With a couple of the tech attackers in the deck, I think two is all that you really need. Then we got two Lele's for, the obvious reasons. And then we got, for our tech attackers, we have a Mew. You're able to copy Ultra Necrozma's attack, which is huge. And when you copy Ultra Necrozma's attack, they have to Guzma. And if they Guzma, then you get to keep that metal energy, so that's pretty huge in matchups against like Zork or something like that. And then we got Giratina promo, helps deal with Greninja. I ended up going 3-1 against Greninja the whole tournament, so it really pulled its weight. And then the Shadow Claw for 4 energies, you can hit 110, which is actually huge in the Buzzwole matchup, and he resists fighting, so it can be really a pain against Buzzwoles. And then a Mimikyu, which I was expecting to see a lot of Ultra Necrozma and regular Psychic Necrozma, and Mimikyu's really puts in work against any of those matches, with Copycat only needing 2 energies on to copy the Ultra Necrozma's attack or regular Necrozma's attack because they're Psychic weak. So I think they're pretty big with that. Then getting into our supporter count, we have 4 Sycamore, which is, I think, perfect for a Malamar deck. There's almost never a wrong time to Sycamore. It always feels like it. Then we got 2 Cynthias and 2 Ns, which is kind of low on the shuffle support, but I would rather Sycamore 9 times out of 10 than use a Cynthia or N. N is good for the comeback potential against other Malamar decks, but really, a lot of the times it just hurts you. Not playing in a Rangaroo, you really just don't have bench space for it, so I like the 2N seems right. And then we got 3 Guzmas, which a lot of the times I really wanted the 4th. I would Sycamore one away early, so I would think about adding that 4th, or we were talking about adding a Pal Pad, which I think might be a little kind of cute, but I don't know. That 3 Guzma doesn't cut it enough sometimes. And then we got the 1-1 Lily Bridget split. So a lot of people don't like this, but I think it's the correct play in a deck like this. There's just too many times you have so many thinning cards in your deck that you can Lily for a huge amount, or you have a Malamar in your hand and you can get 2 or 3 Inkas down and still use Lily. So there's just sometimes where a Lily hand's so good, and it's a good supporter. Getting an end late in the game, you can still Lily for a decent amount of cards. It's not really bad ever. And then Bridget, sometimes you'll start with like 2 Malamar in your hand and can throw away a couple Psychic Energies in Bridget, and that's huge, But there's a lot of times where you don't have another supporter follow up, so you can't really Bridget. So, but I think 1 Lily, 1 Bridget just kind of gives you the outs to what you need. And then our items, we have 4 Mysterious Treasure, which is one of my favorite cards ever printed. It just makes consistency huge. This combined with Ultra Ball. And then speaking of which, we got 3 Ultra Balls. So we ended up cutting 1 Ultra Ball. I like the 4-4, but I think if you want to start teching out a deck, that's one of the cuts that you kind of have to make. So I really like the 4-3. I'm probably going to keep it that way. And then we got the 3 Float Stones. I don't like 4 in this deck. I think it just clunks a little too much. So 3 seems necessary. A lot of things you can just hard retreat or invasion with Dawn Wings out of. So the 3 float stones. And then we got 3 choice bands, which may seem like overkill, but in the matchups that you need them, you really need them. Like Ultra Necrozma, when you attack with Buzzwole, you need a damage modifier and a choice band. So that 3rd choice band was one of the last second inclusions that we made. I think that was where the Ultra Ball cut was for. That or the 2nd Professor Letter. Speaking of which, we got 2 Professor Letter, which is miles better than Elixir in this deck. I feel you have so much discard, and getting the metal energy is huge sometimes, and getting 2 Psychics in your hand, and there's just so many uses. I was only playing with 1, and every time I saw a Professor Letter come up, I'd be like, yes. So I ended up adding the 2nd one, which has won me so many games. And then we got 2 Beast Rings. So that's kind of our energy acceleration here, and it makes the deck have a lot more comeback potential than it should. If you don't have much Malamars out or not a lot of energy in the discard, and your opponent like elixirs to a buzz and knocks you out real quick, you have an instant respawn with Dawn Wings and its GX attack. So the Beast Rings just give you so many more options and so many more outs. So I would love the Beast Rings. I had the 3rd, but I cut it. I think that was for the choice band or Professor Letter. The 3rd seems too much, but 1 is not enough. You need to be able to find on a turn that you need it. So 2 seems to be about right. And we got 2 Field Blowers. A lot of people are playing with 3, but I think like against Garb, the 3rd one really doesn't help you out that much, and you only really need a turn or 2 of abilities against those Garb decks. So I like 2. Parallel City can be annoying, but I think you can play around it, especially with Ultra. So, and then we got 1 Super Rod. Actually, it was a Rescue Stretcher in top 8, or my Madison run, but Super Rod is just so much better in this deck. Sometimes you need that energy back. Even if you're going Super Rod and a Rescue Stretcher, I would advise that over no Super Rod, but it's just really good card. And a lot of time, like almost every time I Rescue Stretchered and needed something back right away, I had a Mysterious Treasure in my hand anyway. So Super Rod, really good. And then going into the energy, we got 7 Psychic, which I think is enough. You can play 8, but I think 7 is definitely enough, especially the Super Rad. 3 Metal and 1 Beast. Now, one of the things that makes this deck so much better than the pure Psychic version is the Beast energy. Like I said, you can hit Dawn Wings, Beast energy, Choice Band, and hit 180. So it's huge. I love this list, and then I keep trying to talk myself out of playing it, and then I go back to playing it, and it just feels so good. You can add more Psychic 1 prize attackers to help deal with that triple baby buzz, like a Baby Dawn Wings or Mewtwo promo that does 100 for 3, but I think that's the worst out of the options. You got the Hoopa that does 20 to 2 Pokemon and 130 for 3 energies, so I don't know. That's some options you have there. But yeah, this is the list. Sorry it took so long to get it out on the channel. Just work's been crazy. It happens. And then if you have any questions, just ask me. I'm pretty open to explaining anything. But this list is pretty straightforward from what I like in my mind at least. Mimikyu is sometimes a like oh, is Mimikyu worth it? But I love him. He good against Buzzwole, good against just about anything. You can play Clefairy. Clefairy has 40 HP though, and it needs 3 energies, but it's good against Lycanroc, so I don't know. Yep, but that's about it. Any questions, hit me up. You know where to find me, guys. Later.